Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderful Gaming. In today's video we're going to take a look at one of the many different warbands in Age of Sigmar Warcry. We're going to take a look at all the fighters available to this warband, what they do on the tabletop, the abilities the warband has, and how to build a foursome on the tabletop as well. Along with this we'll look at some interesting ally options as well for the warband. In today's video, we're going to take a look at getting started with the Fyreslayers in Age of Sigmar Warcry, using the Army's Vanguard box set. Today's video is sponsored by Easy Roller Dice, fantastic quality, easily legible dice that make your games quick and easy. Easy Roller Dice also sell other accessories for your dice like dice trays, cases, bags and cups as well. Use the code CinderfulGaming to get 20% off your next order and help support this store and the channel. Leading the box set is a Battlesmith, a decent enough leader rune-marked fighter with 20 wounds and a defense of 4. This model's leader rune-mark will allow it to use a triple ability called Honor Our O's, which can only be used if this fighter has taken down an enemy with an attack action. This ability will grant an extra melee attack to all nearby visible friendly fighters. The Battlesmith also has a second rune mark, the Icon Bearer rune mark, which will allow it to use another triple ability called Icon of Grimnir. This ability will allow you to add half the value of the ability used to the toughness of all nearby friendly fighters. The first fighters we're going to look at here are the Warcry Berserkers for our units. These models can be built in a couple of different ways, the first being with a pair of Firesteel hand axes. This variation of the fighter has the most attacks with 4 strength 4 attacks dealing 1 damage each or 3 with a critical hit. All variants of this fighter will have 12 wounds and access to some generic abilities which can allow them to deal some range damage, add some extra movement, and quite substantially boost their attacks as well. Our other variant of the Warcry Berserker is armed with a Firesteel weapon and bladed sling shield. Thanks to their shield they have a defense of 5 rather than the defense of 4 with the dual Firesteel axe variant. The variant has 2 attacks at strength 4 with dealing the same damage as we had before. The models have the Bulwark rune mark as well, which will allow them to use a triple ability called Sling Shield Charge, where they can deal some enemy damage that they charge into. To finish off with the Warcry Berserkers kit, we have the Cull. The Cull hits slightly harder than a regular Warcry Berserker with 4 attacks at strength 4, doing 2 damage each with a critical damage of 4. This model has the leader rune mark and also has 16 wounds as well. Our next kit in the box is a dual kit, and this can be built as 2 different units. The first of these are Hearthguard Berserkers, and they also have 2 different weapon option varieties. The first of these weapon options is the Berserker Broadaxe. This weapon has a 2-inch range and makes 3 strength 5 attacks doing 2 damage each or 4 on a critical hit. Both variants of this model have 12 wounds and a defense of 4. The Berserkers also have the Warrior rune mark, which allows them access to a triple ability called Duty Unto Death, where if the fighter has 5 or more wounds allocated to them, they can make a bonus move, then a bonus attack action. The alternative option is the Flame Strike Poleaxe when it comes to weapons. This weapon has a similar range and number of attacks to the Broadaxe, but hits at strength 4 and has a higher critical damage of 5. Like the Broadaxe wielding brethren, they have the Warrior rune mark and access to the Duty Unto Death ability. Both variants of the Hearthguard Berserker have a unit champion option called a Cull. This fighter has the leader rune mark in addition to the Warrior rune mark and an extra 4 wounds for a total of 16 and an extra attack on their profile as well, regardless of which weapon variety it is. The last unit we have to talk about is the alternate build option to the Hearthguard Berserkers, the Auric Hearthguard. These fighters bring some range damage to your force with 3 to 15 inch ranged weapons that have 2 attacks each at strength 4 and damage 2 or 4 damage on a crit. The models also have the Frenzied rune mark that makes them able to use a double ability called Encase in Molten Rock. This ability can allow you to shoot an enemy fighter and actually have their movement severely hampered until the end of the battle round. Like other units as well, we have a unit champion here, a Cull option. This model will gain the leader rune mark and some extra wounds. The model also has an extra point of strength for its melee attacks as well. Now looking at a sample list, we're obviously playing with the Fyreslayers here. For starters, in our leaders we have the Battlesmith. We've gone for a Hearthguard Berserker Cull with Berserker Broadaxe, and a Warcry Berserker Cull as well. Fighter-wise, we have a Warcry Berserker with pair of Firesteel hand axes, and 2 Warcry Berserkers with Firesteel weapons and bladed sling shields. We then have a Hearthguard Berserker with Berserker Broadaxe and another one of them with Flamestrike Poleaxe this time. Lastly, we have 2 Auric Hearthguard. Splitting the force up, we try to split up all the different components, and in Battle Group 1 we have a Battlesmith, Volkart Berserker with Fire Steel Weapon and Bladed Sling Shield, Hearthguard Berserker with Berserker Broadaxe and an Auric Hearthguard. Battle Group 2 will be a Hearthguard Berserker Carl with Berserker Broadaxe, a Volkart Berserker with Fire Steel Weapon and Bladed Sling Shield, and an Auric Hearthguard. While in Battle Group 3 we have our Volkart Berserker Carl, a Volkart Berserker with a pair of Fire Steel Hand Axes, and a Hearthguard Berserker with Flamestrike Poleaxe as well. We hope that this video was helpful in getting you started with Warhammer Age of Sigmar Warcry, and that I was able to give you some ideas and inspiration to start your own force in the game. If you have any other questions at all, please comment them down below and we'll endeavour to get back to you. And while you're there, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe and join our Discord server as well, linked in the video's description, for all our future Warhammer Age of Sigmar Warcry content.